Good day. Welcome to the Power Boost meditation today. And I am thinking about, I hope this doesn't sound superficial. I'm thinking about things like rich and wealthy and these types of feelings. And I think maybe, growing up with the last name Rich, I'm sure you can imagine how when people hear it, they will make up some sort of interesting or humorous comment on it. And the best part is they think that they're original. So they say, oh, you must be so rich with a name like Rich. And they feel that they're the first one to have ever made that comment, which is very entertaining for me. But yes, very often we get a lot of comments about a last name like Rich. And it was very interesting because very often, being asked, so are you rich? And initially, when I was younger, before coming into this study, the answer was, well, no, I'm not. But after coming to the study, my financial situation hadn't really changed. But of course, there was the feeling inside of being very, very fortunate, very, very rich. So, what is that real sense of rich? We talk about money and happiness. Can money buy you happiness? Can money buy you peace? So, what is the currency that is really worth having? What really makes us feel enriched and wealthy? So maybe we'll just take a moment to appreciate that we all are much richer than we might think. So as always, we invite you to be seated comfortably. Take a moment to ensure that's the case. And also, if you want to experiment with the eyes open, reflecting with the eyes open in a natural way, and that can be carried or integrated into your day-to-day life. And in just one thought, I feel very present in the moment, aware. I am here for a purpose. I am reflecting with an intention. I'm not here to check out. I'm here to check in on the self, the state of the self, to take care of the self. So with that interest, I'm very present and start to become focused. Focusing on my inner world. Focusing on the outer world has become a very natural habit. Don't even need to think about it. But focusing on my inner world requires some care. And when I move into my inner world, at least on the surface, I might notice, if I'm looking clearly and honestly, that so much of my activity on the surface of my inner world, the thoughts, the perspectives, the attitudes, so much is about trying to get something, taking, having expectations, becoming impatient, reacting, being affected, waiting, even sometimes manipulating. So much about wanting, taking. I'm not disturbed or upset. I always appreciate moments where I get to understand myself a little more clearly. But I wonder if this is all I am about, what I'm seeing on the surface. So I travel more deeply within, past those thoughts on the surface and the associated feelings, the attitudes that may have formed, maybe even the emotions as I go deeper, going very deeply into my inner world, like diving into the depths of the ocean. Thoughts about the outer world start to fade away, staying on the surface. And down here in the depths, that's often where the treasures are found in the ocean. And this is where I get to discover another side of myself that can't be seen through the physical eyes or the outer world. A very beautiful side of myself. What's really in the heart. The heart of every human soul is like a jewel box. And sometimes it becomes locked. But at moments like this, when I'm open and fearless to go into the depths, the jewel box of the heart becomes accessible, unlocked. And what I find within is a very ancient memory, like lost treasure, but in perfect state. An ancient memory of my highest potential, my most noble and dignified state. That memory is held in the heart of every human soul. It is what we each long for. Although we mix it up with longing for things outside or people to do what we want, it's actually a longing to get ourselves back, to bring to life that very ancient, beautiful memory locked in the heart, hidden treasure. And because it is a memory, I am assured this is really me. It's not imagination. It's a memory. This is the real me. Very noble, very gracious, very dignified, very beautiful, beautiful spirit. This is perhaps my greatest treasure, to remember this about myself. The greatest fortune is to restore this state of self, to embark on a journey back to this original elevated state of self is great fortune. To invest in this journey with every thought and word and deed, to no longer look outside through things and people for my own value, but instead to trust this memory within, that the value of the self is within. I am this very elevated, dignified being. And the more I remember, the more time I spend experiencing this memory, the more it starts to naturally color my inner world, as if changing it to gold. It starts to bubble up to the surface, starting to transform my thoughts and feelings and attitudes. Sitting in that memory right now, that very rich and royal, dignified sense of the self. A memory that is created from my core values, whether it is to respect the self and others, unconditional love, responding with peace and patience, maintaining hope and trust. Whatever those core values are that are the building blocks of that memory. To feel each of those deeply is to experience the richness of the original self. The more time I spend investing in that experience, the more the inner wealth increases. And rather than taking from the world, I might start to give from this wealth within, interacting with respect, no matter what, responding in patience, no matter what. Every time I do give, rather than take, this inner wealth increases. I am becoming more and more rich. Diving within, unlocking the heart, discovering the treasure of the self, and sharing that treasure with others. This is my financial plan for becoming truly rich. Om Shanti.